Okay guys, today we're going to look at circles and the equation of a circle and how we can move a circle left and right and up and down and that sort of thing. So hopefully yesterday you made some connections from the general form and what conic section it is. So how do we know if an equation is in a circle? So hopefully you know that that means that there's two squared terms and they're being added and they have the same coefficient. Okay? So both x and y are both squared, they're being added, and they have the same coefficient. So that's how we know if it's a circle. So here is an equation of a circle. So what is the radius of this circle? The equation is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So if r squared is 25, so r squared is 25, then what would the radius be? 5. So what is the correlation between the radius and the equation? So r squared is, you have to take the square root of that and you get the radius. So that number at the end, you take the square root. What do you have to do to the radius before we put it in the equation? If you have the radius before you put it in this equation, you have to square it. Okay, what is the center of this circle? 0, 0. Okay, because it's centered right on the origin. So the domain would be -5 to 5, and the range would be -5 to 5. Okay, do you see that? Okay, now, so that's a circle centered on the origin. This next one, what is the radius of the circle? Okay, first of all I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I look up here, what's the correlation? R squared is 16, so the square root of that is 4. Okay, is this the same process? Yes. We just took the number at the end and took the square root of it. Okay, did this function move left or right? Moved right. Which variable is associated with moving left and right? Hopefully you said x. From the origin, did it move up or down? Up. Oh, I'm sorry. Down. Which variable is associated with moving up or down? Y. So the center is 2, -3. Okay, so look up here in the equation. 2, -3. So they are both opposite. So x minus 2 means that x is going to be 2. X plus 3 means that y is going to be -3. Over 2, down 3. Okay. So here the domain is -2 to 6. And the range is -7 to 1. Okay. So that's the basic information about a circle. Okay, so name the center and the radius. So you try these on your own, and then look up and see if you got them right. Okay. So hopefully you realize that it's -4, 5, because they're both opposite, and that the radius is 6, and then 2, -1, and the radius is 7. So this is the standard form of a circle. So what does the following change do to the function? So when it's plus h, it moves left. When it's minus h, it moves right. When it's plus k, it moves down, and when it's minus k, it moves up. Okay? Why can't you find the center in this equation? Okay, is it in standard form? No. Okay, so to make it be in standard form, we are going to have to complete the square. And so we're going to practice that a little bit. Mostly it's important that you can graph a circle and all that kind of find the center based on the equation, but we are going to practice completing the square just a little bit. Okay, so let's quickly review how to factor when we do completing the square. So for this one, it's x plus 3 squared. Because remember, we take the square root of the first term, the square root of the last term, and whatever the first sign is. So x plus 3 squared. So this would be x plus 4 squared. Okay. So given this equation, what would we need to fill in the blank to make it a perfect square? So we would put 36 right here, because remember when we took b divided by 2 and then we squared it? Okay, so and then we got 36. So this would be x plus 6 squared. Okay, so that number came from taking b, dividing it by 2, and squaring it. Okay, so what number would we need to complete the square here? What's 6 divided by 2 squared? 6 divided by 2 squared is 9. So then it would be x plus 3 squared. What about 8 divided by 2 squared? 16. X plus 4 squared. 10 divided by 2 squared. 25. X plus 5 squared. And I didn't do this one because they filled it in for you. 4x plus 2 squared. So it's b divided by 2 squared, and then this turns out to just be b divided by 2. Okay, now we did completing the square a ton last semester, so maybe you'll remember some of it. Okay, so now let's look and see how we would complete the square to do this equation. So for this one, we have x squared plus y squared plus 4y equals negative 3. Okay, so I don't have to complete the square on x because there's only one x term. So this one, I have to complete the square. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Square that, and what do you get? 4. So I'm going to add 4 to this side and add 4 to this side. So then I have x squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 1. That's the equation of my circle. Okay? So, real quick, just to make sure, took the square root of that term, that sign, and the square root of that term. So that's where our y plus 2 came from. So the center of my circle is 0, negative 2, and the radius is 1, because what's the square root of 1? 1. Okay, let's try another one. Now, like I said, this completing the square stuff is not hugely important. So if you're understanding it, great, and if you don't, that's fine. Just make sure you can find the center of a circle, and you can graph a circle, and you can find the domain and range of a circle. That's the most important part. But I just wanted to show you this. So x squared minus 10x plus y squared plus 20y equals negative 25. Okay, so what I've done there is I've grouped the x's together, I've grouped the y's together, and I moved the 25 to the other side. Okay, so 10 divided by 2 squared is 25, and 20 divided by 2 squared is 100. So I have x minus 5 squared plus y plus 10 squared equals 100. Okay, so x minus, that's where those two came from, square root of 25 is 5. Y plus the square root of 100 is 10. Then I just simplified all of that and got those two canceled, so I'm left with 100. So that is the equation of my circle. So the center would be 5, negative 10, and the radius would be 10. Okay, I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'll let you try some of them by yourself. So x plus 16x plus y squared plus 4y equals negative 2. So once again, I just rearranged it. I'm going to take 16 divided by 2, square it, plus 64. 4 divided by 2 squared is plus 4. Okay, so those are being grouped together and those are grouped together. So x plus 8 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals, let's see, 66. So the center is negative 8, negative 2, and the radius is the square root of 66. Because it's not a perfect square, so you just put the square root of 66. Okay, so that's circles. Like I said, the most important thing is that from this equation, if I give you an equation like this, that you can tell me the center, the radius, and you can graph it and find the domain and range. That is the key to this lesson. So, one more time, you need to be able to find the center, find the radius, you need to be able to graph, and then do domain and range. Okay, so that's what you need to know about circles. Okay? Hope everyone has a great day, and hope to see you soon.